You like? Oh, okay. I better not say what I was going to say.
If you were going to say what I think you were going to say, tidy.
I'm waiting for it to upload. Right, just on TikTok. I'm just going to add you.
Okay. Welcome to the live, everyone. Oh. Okay. Yeah, welcome to the live, guys. Sam and I are here to talk about Amazon FBA. Let me just get my thingy going on TikTok. Sam, how are you doing today?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good. I've perpetually getting tooth issues lately, so that's always fun. But
it's nothing worse. Anything dentist related is horrific.
yeah, I'm an absolute pansy with it as well. Every time I get a toothache.
Yeah, it's not enjoyable.
Right. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Right. I've got the thing set up. I'm just going to let our community members know that we're live. It is Monday, the 29th of June, and we had a really good week last week at Seller Smart. Really good. And then I ended up working the entire weekend accidentally. I didn't even mean to. It just, my day flew by with calls. How was your weekend?
It was busy. It was good. Busy. Spent a lot of time with my family. I went to my dad's house, and then there was like some little mini festival band thing on. Why isn't this working? There you go. So that was good. And then Sunday played golf, and then got back last night, and yeah, caught up with everything. It was so busy. Honestly, Saturday I felt like I was driving for about 8 hours.
Yeah, Charlie always used to mention him playing golf, and I love golf, but I never go and play. I really need to make some time for it, I think.
Yeah, Charlie picked it up quite recently, and then Jonah in the group in the Disc of Mentorship, he plays golf as well. He said he played a competition the other day and he came like second or third or something. Yeah, so he smashed it.
Very cool.
Ethan Davison just sent a comment on TikTok saying, "Do you do FBA on your own? Like, are all the sales yours?" Yes, mate. I do it all on my own. I don't do it with anyone else. It's just myself. I've been doing it for 5 years, 4 years full time. But yeah, it's all myself. All the sales are mine. Whatever you see there is done by me. Like, I guess on your own, I've got no like business partners or anything like that, but I do have like a team of VAs. So I've got like 3 VAs, 2 sourcing, 1 admin. So if you include them, then yeah, I guess there's sort of 4 of us. But yes. And he says, "How much is your mental course? I'm about to start myself. Good starting, mate. It will definitely make a big difference to your life. I'm sure it's made a huge difference to mine, and I'm sure Sean will say the same thing, and a lot of others as well. Very glad I started it. So the mentorship, we don't really disclose the price online, but we're happy to have a call, and then we can go through everything about the mentorship. We can tell you exactly what's included, what's involved." How it's going to look, and then go through the pricing with you. But yeah, if you're interested, let us know. Drop me a follow, mate. Drop me a message. I don't know if you're in our free Discord group. We've got a free Discord group as well, which you'll be able to find the link in the bio for either me or Sean.
I just wanted to add to that. We just had a flurry of people finish the end of their 6 months in the mentorship, and we've gotten 100% 5-star reviews from every single person. I think we're closing in on 160 positive reviews, no negatives. So definitely worth a call if you want to.
Yes, definitely.
JB said, "Good morning, afternoon, lol." Good morning, JB. Good afternoon. How are you? Flippy Kaye is joining from YouTube.
Flippy, hello, Flippy. How are you, mate? So, Ethan, you got any availability today? Because I'm about to start through a different A2A business owner. Yeah, mate, I've got availability today. I can jump on a call with you as soon as I've finished this live. So if you're free at like 2:30, then let me know, and we can. I can jump on a call with you, mate. But yeah, drop me a message, and we can definitely get that booked today. Mark
Zhao,
Penn. Yeah, I'm happy, mate. Okay, cool.
I was just going to say, Zhao Paulo said, hello, welcome, mate. Welcome to the live. Thank you for joining. And
Ethan, I'm just gonna put you a message, mate, and then we can get that sorted out.
is my mic okay, by the way?
It was very glitchy, but I don't know if it's internet or mic or what.
Is it still glitchy now?
No, it's okay now.
Okay, good. Someone in our free server asked a very good question yesterday, which JB Gemma responded to. How much did sales increase during Prime Day for everyone, for average sellers? Very good question. Slightly misguided, because you would expect to see higher Prime Day sales during Prime Day, but Prime Day we don't actually look forward to it as sellers because of the sales. We look forward to it because of the amount you can buy. Prime Day is an amazing opportunity to buy leads so that you can sell them after Prime Day and make really good money. Usually it happens around Thanksgiving. So it usually happens in July. For some reason, they did it early this year. I suspect they'll probably do some sort of Thanksgiving, Black Friday in July still. But yeah, honestly, the people in our mentorship, Sam spent like 56K on stock during Prime Day?
Yes, mate. Over the 3 days, it was just between 50, 60K. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, it's somewhere around that, and it was good, really good.
And Martin in our mentorship spent about 32 grand. Honestly, the amount of money you can spend on stock is really, really, really good. But Amazon to Amazon is just one of the options, one of the models that we work with. We do the arbitrage model as a whole. So online arbitrage, buying from major retailers, Amazon to Amazon, European Amazon to Amazon, and wholesale. That's all of our forte. All of those things kind of fold into each other as one model. And yeah, Prime Day can be amazing for that.
Yeah, 100%. Prime Day was fantastic. But as you said, sales tend to, it depends on your split really. Like for me, because I do a fair bit of A2A, sales generally dip during Prime Day because a lot of the stuff I'm selling is going to be on offer. So I can't really sell it at that price. So that's what happens. But that's the spend is what you want over Prime Days.
So
Mark,
Aaron,
sorry,
yeah, I was just going to say, Aaron Johnson 3233 said, "Can you show out Dixon Myers?" I don't really know what that means. I'm out of the loop. What does that mean? Is that a person?
You just said it, mate. I'm not gonna. If you're not clocked off, that is.
Oh my god! I just fell for the oldest trick in the book.
Mark Penn.
I'm too innocent for you people in YouTube Shorts. Good God! No, that's not true at all. Actually, I'm just stupid.
So Mark Penn said 2 million sales to be. Whoa. 2 million seems to be around the cap for mentors. Is 2 million enough these days with the margins being less? Yeah, it's the cap for me just because that's what I want to cap it at. It's not because I can't grow any further. Like I can definitely do more. Like I know people to do 3, 4, 5 million. I can definitely do that if I wanted to, but I don't want to. It might sound like a silly question, but I'm sort of diversifying into like other businesses as well. I run sort of 3 businesses, including this one. So Amazon is great at the level I'm at. I think if I was to scale it more, I'd need to hire more VAs. I'd have to sort of get more systems in place and stuff like that, which I don't really want to do. Like I'm quite happy to diversify and work on a few other businesses as well. So there's definitely room to grow. But it's definitely, I wouldn't say it's the capital. And he said Amazon to Amazon sales are being banned. Where have you read that? Because that's not true. As far as I'm aware. I don't know.
I've not heard anyone say that, and people have been saying for years you can't do it, and yet Amazon tell you directly you can. So I don't know where people get that info from.
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be good to know where you got that info from, but as far as I'm aware, it's not true, mate.
Yeah, it's one of those things. There's rumors circulate Amazon all the time, don't they? They were saying arbitrage wasn't allowed since I remember people saying that in 2015, but it's still here.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere. Arbitrage is like the oldest thing in the book. It's not going anywhere.
Amazon is literally an arbitrage company. That's how it started. So like to act as if arbitrage wouldn't be allowed on that platform is just a bit misguided. Dennis said, suggest a distributor to get ungated for Samsung, Canon, HP, please. Dennis, you can use major retailers. Just use a major retailer, get the cheapest product you can find in the brand, and ungate with that. You can also use somewhere like Harrison's Direct, but you don't really need, well, you can if you want to, but you can just use major retailers. Major retailers, typically what we found, we've tested this a lot, is they have fewer headaches with ungating than even wholesalers do. Because if Amazon's never heard of the wholesaler, they're going to ask you for the supply chain information, and most suppliers are not going to give you that. So major retailers are by far the best in our experience from our testing when it comes to ungating. JB said we all have those brands. Oh, sorry, go on.
I don't know if it's me, but I can't really hear you much. It keeps the signal's horrific. I don't know if it's your end or my end. It'd be good to know if someone else.
JB said I was fine on her side.
Okay, let me try and sort some stuff out.
Oh, she said my top is back to front, which usually it isn't. That's interesting. Let me try and flip that somehow.
It is on TikTok, but not on YouTube or anything.
Yeah, it's weird. It's inverted on both platforms, but it has to be inverted on YouTube for it to look correct on the other side.
I'm just trying to see why.
Dennis said, will Currys or John Lewis work? Yeah, absolutely. Currys, John Lewis. Well, there's loads. We've got a top 200 UK suppliers with all of their VAT information. You can go from that. If it's a major retailer that provides a valid VAT invoice with your company information, your registered billing address, then it should be fine. There's caveats to that. So Argos doesn't work because technically they don't give you a VAT invoice straight away. They give you an e-receipt. Amazon don't accept e-receipts for most people. You can request an invoice, but it takes 30 days to come in the post. So it's not good to tie up your capital on that. But places like Currys, John Lewis, Sports Direct, they all work.
Yeah, 2 secs. Let me just sort this out. 2 secs, mate.
Halima, welcome to live. Thank you for joining. I don't recognize anyone else in here so far. Let me know where you guys are from. If you already sell on Amazon, how do you do? Flippy, I feel very silly falling for that guy's YouTube comment. I hope you laugh, though. If I made you laugh, then it was all worth it. What about Dolce & Gabbana, Gucci, and Chanel brands? So you could use places like Notino, Essential, Boots. You can use them to get ungated. You have to be really careful with the perfume brands in that niche because a lot of them are hard gated or IP now. Not all of them. You just need to make sure you're doing your analysis of the listing to make sure you can sell them. So I actually got really unlucky with Gucci. I spent £1,000 on an ungate and it was never accepted. And yet someone else I work with bought the exact same thing, same place, and they got it straight away. I ended up selling the Gucci for a profit on a different platform, but it's just one of those things. It was annoying.
Mark, I've sent you a message on TikTok, mate. Send me over the screenshot you've got because it'd be good to see that. Ethan, I've added you on Discord as well. So if you accept that, we can have a chat and I can get something booked in with you later on.
Yeah, guys, if we're not following each other on TikTok, we can't message you. So a lot of people in our live say, hey, can you send me a message? But because we're not following or they're not accepting messages, we can't. So give us a follow, push the like button if you get any value from it. And Flippy, I'm glad I made you laugh. JB said, Dennis, have you used the auto ungator tool? No, not yet. Very, very much recommend it. So this one, in wherever you're watching from, the auto ungator tool, we are the first company in the world to build a tool that automatically ungates you in up to thousands of brands. It is completely Amazon TOS compliant. It links with your own Amazon store, so it's going to be completely different per seller. We have a database of over 10,000 brands, and what it will do is it will check your account. Any that are eligible to auto ungate, it will ungate automatically. So we have people in our mentorship who've been getting 3,000 brand ungates, 7,000. I got 1,500. Some people who are brand new and have never sold before got anything between 300 and 1,000. It's different for everyone. But the more ungated you are in brands, the easier it is to ungate other brands. So it's one of the best tools we've created. It is absolutely incredible. Give it a go. $69.99 for one scan. And then if you want to rescan it after 30 days on a monthly sub, it's $24.99. But yeah, it's a game changer. We've had multiple people say in these live calls, Loads of people have used it whilst I've been live, which has been really cool to see. We've had multiple people say that they were unable to ungate certain brands for weeks. They used our tool, got ungated in thousands of brands, and then every application they did after that was accepted within 1 or 2 tries. Absolutely game-changing. It's amazing. Dennis said, what repricer would you suggest? We recommend keeping your expenses as low as possible until your profit is high enough to justify higher costs. So you could just use Amazon's own repricer in the beginning to save money. If you really want to use a paid one, the ones we've tried that are the best so far are STK. We have a repricer in our software that we haven't released yet, and we're going to be testing that. But yeah, STKs is the best so far. That's still the one you use, isn't it, Sam?
Yeah, SDK is what I use. It's just easy because I use the analytics software, so it just makes sense. I've also I've tried so many different reprices. I must have tried about 10 reprices in the last few years, and I always end up going back to SDK. It's just simple, it's easy. You know what it's doing. You don't need anything overly complicated, to be honest with you. So yeah, that is what I always use, to be honest, and I like it.
It's weird as well, like all of the reprices that claim to be AI, which I very much doubt they are. The AI ones always have caused me more headaches than the simple one from SDK. I don't know if that's just me, but they're always more headaches.
Yeah, I've tried. Yeah, it can be. Like I tried the expensive one. What's it called?
Seller Snap.
Seller Snap. It was like $500 a year, a month, and to be honest, it was far too. I had to interfere with it so many times, and I just didn't really like it. I felt like I was better off just repricing manually, to be honest with you, and that's why I went.
It's really aggressive, isn't it?
It can be, depending on the rules. It was just constantly having to change minimum and maximums, so it was just it's just hard work.
Arvin Mason said, hi, I like your free course videos. Thank you very much, my friend. Yeah, so everyone out there who doesn't know, we have a free course, free Discord community, and loads of free downloads to get you started. I'm glad you like the videos, because honestly, I recorded them when I was brand new to talking to a camera, and they are so cringy for me to go back and watch now, but I'll probably re-record them at some point, but I just don't have the time for it at the moment. I'm glad you like them though. Thank you very much for the comment. Have you got started, Mason? Have you managed to make a sale yet? I'd be really interested to hear that. Lakeview OC, welcome to the live. Haven't seen that name in a while. How much is your mentorship? So we don't talk publicly about the pricing, but we will tell you transparently on a call straight away how much it is. We'll talk through everything that's involved. We want to get to know you. We want to know where you're at and if we can help you. We're very selective with who we work with. I actually have turned away a couple of people in the last few weeks of calls. We've been having a lot of calls recently because the results we've been getting people in the community have been starting to come forward now. So it's really good to see. Almost 160 positive reviews, no negatives. And everyone who's just come to the end of the mentorship has given us a 5 stars. So, we love everyone in our community. They're amazing. And definitely recommend giving it a go if you're interested. We've got group and one-to-one. And on the one-to-one, you need at least 5K to invest because you'll need to buy stock as well as the investment in the mentorship. Dennis, I do 10 to 12K in sales so far. Dennis, awesome work. Congratulations. That's a really good place to start. I've given you a follow, mate. Give us a follow back. I'd love to jump in a call with you. When did you start, Dennis? I'd be interested to hear that as well. How long did it take you to get to 10 to 12K sales?
Oliver Queen said, what do you do, OA or A2A? So I do a mix of both. I've been doing OA for, I've been doing a mix of both, to be honest with you. I don't know the exact split of it. It's not something I track massively, but it's roughly sort of 50-50, I would say. Q4 tends to be a lot more OA and less of A2A. Then obviously you got days like Prime Day and that sort of stuff, and this ends up being a lot more A2A. But yeah, for the most part, it's probably roughly 50-50 split. And he said he's done 12K second month, struggling to get to 20. That's really good. 12K on your second month is great.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, struggling to get to 20. I think you've only just started, mate. Doing 12K in your second month is unreal. So I wouldn't say it's a struggle to get to 20. Or I wouldn't say you're struggling to get to 20. Like you've just started, you've got to run before you can walk. You got to walk before you can run even. But yeah, mate, 12K is a great start, to be honest with you. And if you can do 12K in your second month, you'll get to 20 in no time.
You work with us, mate. You can get some really good numbers as well. Dennis said he started last year and he's doing 10 to 12K sales, 110K sales over the year. Very, very well done. Great job. What kind of ROI are you landing at the moment on average? Are you managing to get most of your products profitable, or are you having to cut any at a loss? That's really good going though. Short Shin said, I always find that software and software engineering are two possible avenues to a new environment, and it helps with the momentum of the community to flourish. And it's good to hear about this. Yeah, we've been building our software for 2 years, and the Auto on Gator, which is absolutely amazing. The Auto on Gator tool, that's just one feature of 35 that we've got in our software. Everyone who joins our group mentoring or our one-to-one mentoring gets access to our software. So we've got about 45 people testing it right now. And we're very excited to get it out because it's very unique. No one's really made tools like we have. I think we have the perspective that because we actually sell and we run into the same problems you guys face, it means we can think of clever solutions to overcome those problems. So if you want to sign up to the wait list, you can in our Discord community. Or if you want to start using it today, you can join our mentorship.
Oliver Queen says, I've made my own lead finder, sends me lists every morning for leads. Mate, fair play, very well done. You sound obviously pretty techie and you know what you're doing, which definitely helps in this business. So yeah, mate, well done. That should definitely give you a step ahead of a lot of other people if you know how to build things like that.
Yeah, very cool. Dennis said 10 to 11% profit margin. That's not bad. 17% ROI. The thing is, Dennis, that's good. You've done 110K sales over the year. So am I presuming that you are VAT registered, or do you mean you're on track to hit 110K? Because 17% average ROI as a non-VAT registered seller, I would say is very low. You should be trying to aim for around that 30% mark. But I'm interested because if you're VAT registered, then 10 to 11% isn't dire. There's a lot of room for improvement, but it's a really good place for you to work on trying to figure out how to increase that margin.
You say it was at 10 to 11% ROI?
10 to 11% profit margin, 17% ROI.
Okay. Yeah, ideally you want to try and bump that up as much as possible, especially if you're not that registered. There's a lot of leakage in the business you want to stay on top of as well. And if you're running at sub 20% ROI, it can dramatically become a lot lower if you're not accounting for everything and all reimbursements and missing stock and so on.
Yeah, he actually said that includes returns and VAT from the 1st of July. Really, really good that you handle your returns. 99% of people we talk to don't pay attention to their leakage. I would still say that's quite a low average. So maybe try and adapt your sourcing a little bit, or try to aim for slightly higher average order products, average ROI products maybe. Or you could even just hold stock a bit longer if it tanks. Maybe that could help if you're not, credit card floating.
So Oliver Queen said, you don't have to be VAT reg if you hit 90K sales, right? As the payouts will be 60% of that. No, your 90K is based on revenue. So it's not what the payouts are, it's what your overall revenue is. So as soon as you hit 90K in sales, then that is when you need to become VAT registered. And that's 90K within a 12-month rolling period as well.
Yeah. So, which hopefully whoever asked that question, hopefully you're not past that point and you haven't done it yet. If you haven't, have a chat with an accountant as soon as possible and get that sorted. We work with an accountant called Smartly with a Z, Smartly, and they're very good. But yeah, as Sam said, as soon as you hit 90K, the game gets a little bit harder because your margin will go down slightly. A lot of people give up at that point, but honestly, it's just another step in the journey to building a proper business with this. So If you've gotten to a point where you're VAT registered and you haven't improved your sourcing, that's definitely something to work on, because VAT registration should not kill your ability to do this business model properly. It might just change what you aim for. So instead of going for minimum 30%, you might aim for a minimum 20% ROI.
Yeah, so Oliver's saying if you hit 90k sales, you won't get that fully paid out to your account, normally around 60% of it. So if you don't get your payouts to your account, technically that's not rev. It could be wrong though. Yeah, unfortunately that's wrong.
Yeah, you are wrong, unfortunately.
On the sales in your Amazon account, as soon as your overall revenue and your sales hit 90k, that is when you become VAT registered. You can have a chat with an accountant if you want. But yeah, from a HMRC point of view, they don't care what's a payout and what's not. It's what your overall sales are.
I just got a call from Reese, and I just want to make sure. No, I'm good. It would be good if you didn't have to register for VAT at that point, but unfortunately, we all do.
Yeah.
Short Shins on YouTube said, leakage is the responsibility of the individual to whom they accept responsibility for changes and procedures to make sure the system manager was not allowed. I don't mate, could you rephrase? I have no idea what you mean by that. Leakage is the responsibility of the individual to whom they accept responsibility for changes and procedures to make the system manager was not allowed. That, unfortunately, my friend, doesn't make any sense. Can you clarify on that? I'd be interested to hear what you mean.
I've just seen on YouTube here.
I'm not going to read that out loud, actually, just in case that is another going to embarrass me. Do you guys have any questions? Damn, we've been going for 27 minutes already. That's crazy. Passes very quickly.
It does fly by. When you're having fun, eh?
How's your Sam? How's your sales been? Because you had that blip in purchasing stock because you went on holiday. How's the sales been since that point?
This month it's not been too bad, to be honest. Like, I had a bit of a blip, and then that wasn't obviously great, but they've been okay. Like, I've changed the way I'm doing things a lot. Like, you can see on the graph, my revenue's getting lower and lower, but that is for a reason. I'm now focusing on a lot higher ROI products, and I'm not buying lower ROI stuff. That's why I'm sort of capping it at 2 million roughly, and then I'm trying to focus on margin a lot more and try and increase the margin a little bit rather than going for volume. So the sales are okay. The sales are fine. The ROI is improving each month, so that's yes, that's really, really good. But yeah, it's not been too bad. So I didn't really buy anything for like it was like 2 weeks. The first 2 weeks of this month, I didn't really buy anything. But then obviously Prime Days helped because I spent a lot. I didn't really buy much at the end of last month, but it hasn't had too much of an effect, to be honest with you. So Mark said, which is what you like, Sean. Mark said, thoughts on Brand Direct. I think me and Sean both think Brand Direct is like amazing, and I think it's probably one of the best methods of selling on Amazon. And I think it's definitely something in the future maybe Amazon will tighten up, and I think that will be probably the best method to run on Amazon, really, especially one of the safest, especially when it comes to getting IP complaints and authenticity and all that jazz. I think if you can work with a brand directly, I don't think you'll have many risks when it comes to Amazon, because you're going to have LOAs for everything you sell. You're going to be able to fight off any claims, and I think you're pretty safe. So I think Brand Direct is one of the best routes to go down on Amazon, to be honest.
Can I tell you three stories related to Brand Direct?
Go for it.
Okay, firstly, Jin, I saw you join here. Gia, welcome to the live. Thank you for joining. And Glenn, welcome to the live as well. So Brand Direct, we have suppliers. We went and met suppliers in London, wherever it was, like a week ago, I think it was. They have a brand direct relationship where they are the only distributor allowed to provide that brand. They have the documentation and the supply chain from the manufacturer. And for months, Amazon was not allowing them to sell the product, even as brand direct. Absolutely crazy, right? Very luckily, they've managed to get a contact at Amazon, and they're very kindly going to pass this person's details on to me so that we can have a contact, where the guy was able to find out the agent who kept denying the claim and, politely give them a scolding and say, what are you doing? But it just goes to show you that even when you do everything right on Amazon, the system is so big and convoluted, you might just get the wrong person reviewing the application, and it's not always seamless and perfect, but no business model is. So that's story number one, crazy brand direct. Story number two, I have a brand direct relationship where I was one of 5 authorized sellers for a brand. You guys have probably heard me say this before. Was doing really, really well. And then for like 5 months, it was a gravy train. It was fantastic. And then Amazon changed their algorithm because FBM sellers had to be allowed more time in the buy box. I completely stopped getting the buy box for that brand only. Sam at the time had to deal with me stressed, asking him questions because I couldn't make sales. And that was where I learned you don't overinvest more than 10% of your capital per brand, maybe even 5. 100% of my money was tied up in that brand. I had to learn other stuff. I learned stuff on the side to make cash. Whenever I sent anything in that wasn't related to that brand, it sold. And it wasn't anything I was doing. It was just a glitch. Within about 3 or 4 months, it stopped being a problem. But yeah, it was a very challenging period where I had to sell quite a lot of stock at a loss just to make sales. And I wondered what was going on. But it's just one of those things. I was having a chat with someone who the other day, he's moving on to Amazon full time because he's had to pull away from TikTok Shop because apparently it's even worse. And you go to like Vinted's customer support is entirely AI. It's so bad. So if you're looking to sell online, you have to be aware of these things, that everything has risk. You have to have a thick skin because you're going to have issues no matter what you do. And no platform is perfect. They all have problems.
Yeah, for sure. So you said further point to that, manufacturer direct another thought then, manufacturer direct as they own a lot of brands. Again, yeah, I think that's a fantastic route to go down as well. I think anything where you can get sort of brand approval or LOAs for that brand and for the products you're selling, I think, yeah, that is going to be the best method to sell on Amazon long term, because it just goes without saying, right? The safer you are on the platform, the better it's going to be, the better relationships you're going to have, the better products you're going to get, the better pricing you're going to get. So overall, that I think, yeah, is obviously fantastic.
Yeah, and like if you follow the data, we're very data driven as a company, so we always follow the data. More and more brands are requesting letters of authorization, which, it may take 5 years, it may take 10 years, but you can only imagine that's going to happen more and more and more over time. So you just have to adapt to how the market changes. Amazon is so different now to when I started 3 years ago, and I'm sure even more so to when Sam started 5 years ago. The third brand direct story I wanted to say, I had a really nice sales call with someone who is debating joining our mentorship. He actually paid for a brand direct coaching. Sam, I forgot to tell you about this. I'll tell you who the guy is as well, who the coach is. And the money he paid to get training for brand direct, the guy was telling him to lie to the manufacturers, to lie to the brands, to get stock from them, to sell on Amazon, and then eventually make loads and loads of sales from it, blah, 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 blah. That is so unbelievably narrow-sighted to me, short-sighted, I should say, because the whole point of brand direct and the whole point of wholesale is you build a relationship with them. How can you do that if it's starting from a place of lies? To me, it doesn't make any sense. You have to provide enough value for the brand to want to work with you. And I think the best way to do that is to approach them transparently. Say that you sell on Amazon and other marketplaces, but try to think of ways that you can add value to them. If all you're doing is buying their stock, of course, they're not going to want to work with you, because why would they? They can just sell on Amazon themselves. But if you can improve their brand presence, if you can improve their sales, and if you can work with them, that's a much better decision long term, I think. And I think it doesn't feel like a proper business model to me to have your structure be built on a house of lies. It just doesn't make sense to me.
But then that's like that sums up a lot Amazon sellers in general, though, to be honest with you. It's a very narrow-minded approach. And that is why a lot of wholesalers, distributors don't like working with Amazon sellers purely for that reason. So yeah, I'm not really that surprised. And then Mark said on the back of what we were talking about, he said, I would suspect lower margins than OA and RA. Yeah, you're probably right. Like, especially RA, like you're not really going to get many much higher margins with anything else than RA. But again, how much can you scale RA? But I guess it depends what you want from the business, right? Like if you want a long-term business, if you want to scale it to, I don't know, 5, 10, 15, 20 million a year or something, you want to build like a huge business out of it, then I feel like what you've said about brand direct and sort of manufacturer direct is going to be the way to go. Like OA, you can scale that to a really good level, but yeah, that you're gonna hit a limit at some point, right? What that limit is, I don't really know. I reckon I know people who do 3-4 million doing OA, but could you do sort of 10 million OA? I know in the US there's a seller who does that, but in the UK I don't know. And if you want to scale it to like a huge multi-million pound business, then I think brand direct and sort of manufacturer direct would be the way to go, unless you went down sort of the private label route instead. But I guess that's just a different method altogether.
This obviously, this is different to every person, but I want to stress to everyone, you can't imagine the lifestyle change by just making an extra 2 or 3K. So I love the ambition of scaling to 5, 10, can you scale this to 10 million a year? I love that. I'm all about that. I'm a big scale guy. I want to push it as hard as I can. But for most people out there, if you can work your full-time job and make the same salary from Amazon, that's going to change your life drastically. So we had someone in the live the other day who was saying, should I even get into this because I don't think it can make 100K profit a month? It's like, my guy, you don't have a job right now. Like, make £1,000. That'll be amazing for you right now. Use it as a cash machine, develop the skills, learn everything about business from it, and then diversify or scale. You can go either way with it. But I don't want to discourage people because I love people to aim for the stars, but also don't be misguided by social media. Like 10 grand a month would obviously be incredible for most people, but 2 grand a month would be life-changing for, I would say, 99% of people, like genuinely.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. Like we had someone who we had, I think we both had a call with them actually. And you had the call and I think I watched the call back, and they wanted to do, they said, right, I know this isn't a get rich quick. And then you're like, okay, what do you want to do by the end of the year? So I want to be making 100K a month profit or something like that. And we're like, that's insane. Like that's a great goal to have and like absolutely amazing. But you, on the one hand, you're saying this isn't get rich quick, and the next hand, at the end of the year, you want to make 100K a month, which I think is mental.
One can only assume that he's climbed James and the giant beanstalk's beanstalk, and he's found the goose that can lay golden eggs, because you need a crap load of money to get to that level.
Yeah, 100%. Mark said £10 a day profit is a free Audi on finance. Yeah, true. So yeah, I guess it depends what you want.
That's actually a good point.
It depends what you want from the business, right? Like, do you want it just to take over your 9 to 5 and then become your full-time job and full-time business to scale it to whatever? Are you happy just so you can get an Audi on finance, or is it just to pay for a couple of holidays every year? Is it to, I don't know, pay so you can still work, but then you got enough money to put your kids through private school or something like that? I don't know. It depends. Like there's so many ways you can do it, and it just depends what you want from the business. And then before that, so Mark said, or build to sell. I assume you mean building, building the business to then sell it. And again, OA, you can't really do that. RA definitely can't do that. I think the only way to do that is with private label and is with obviously the wholesale brand direct and that sort of stuff.
Even wholesale brand direct, I wouldn't imagine it would be massive unless you had really, really good contractual agreements. But I think PL is pretty much the only thing you can exit.
I think if you've got contracts in place and agreements in place, I think there's no reason why you can exit a wholesale and brand direct business.
As I say, like if you had really good agreements, maybe, but you don't hear about it as much.
No, you mainly hear about private label and people exiting that, to be honest.
Halima said, yes, we're told not to mention Amazon. That was regarding brand direct. Yeah, I did a wholesale course where that was what we were taught back then. And I don't know, it's one of those things where as soon as you hear that, it makes you wonder what else. To me, it made me wonder what else they were lying about. If that was their strategy, which I didn't agree with. The wholesale relationship I got, where it was a brand direct opportunity. I was one of 5 authorized sellers for a big European brand. I mentioned it earlier. The first thing I did was bitch about Amazon to this guy. This guy was the UK distribution for this brand. And all I did was complain about Amazon to him directly because it built up rapport. I got him laughing. I told him all about the problems in the industry. I told him all about what I do to overcome them. I gave him a load of things that I was going to do for him to help him build his presence. And he loved it. He was completely open to it. And it was a really good, as I say, gravy train for about 5 months. And that was because I went into that conversation with a service-based mindset. I wasn't going, hey, give me your product so I could sell them and make money myself. I was going in saying, here's what I can do for you. Here's what we can do for each other. And going in transparently, showing him that I understand Amazon and my knowledge of it could actually help him. That was nothing but beneficial to me.
Yeah, definitely. I think you need to, like you say, you can't just go in with a better lies, right? You need to have a conversation with them and explain, look, they obviously don't like working with Amazon sellers. So look, I understand why you would like to work with Amazon sellers. This is how you're going to do different. This is how you can help them. And you need to try and win them over like that. There's no point just lying from the off. So Mark was saying, so look at Pattern, THG, Penguin. They're all huge. I know 2 of them. I don't know THG. I don't know if it's the Hut Group or something else. But they are huge, like brand direct, manufacturer direct sellers, and yeah, they're massive. I know Penguin. I've obviously heard of Pattern. Some of these sellers are huge. For the normal seller, they should look at an easier life. Again, yeah, it depends what you want out of it, right? Like Penguin and Pattern, I know huge. Like they have absolutely massive warehouses. They have millions and millions and probably millions of pounds worth of stock. As far as I'm aware, I don't know, I might be wrong, but I've seen videos of their warehouses. They are huge. The amount of systems in place, the amount of staff they've got, it's a complete different ball game to what a lot of OA and sort of other sellers do. So it depends. Like with that, there's going to be a lot of stress. There's going to be a lot of hard work. It's going to be there's a lot more involved. So it depends. Like what obviously me and Sean talk about a lot is creating like a lifestyle business, right? It's not something we're trying to get people to create these multi-million-pound companies and sort of take over the world. We're saying, look, if you want to improve your life and if you want an extra 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 pounds a month to help do that, then yeah, this is sort of what we can do for you. And I think that's the great thing about Amazon. Like there's plenty of ways you can do it, to be honest.
For sure. Short Shin, sorry. Can you?
Your camera's gone on.
Can you still hear me though?
Yeah, I can hear you. So Mark again said, I'd say 10K a month lifestyle business would be ideal for Amazon seller. Yeah, 100%. I would agree. And I think that's partly why mine's sort of capped at 2 million. Because I know at the minute it runs very well. I've got 3 VAs. They do 90% of it. I don't have to do huge amounts if I don't want to. Whereas if I want to then scale that to even more, like 3 million, 4 million, then it means hiring more people. It means me having to work on the business more. And it sort of takes away the lifestyle aspect of it, which is the whole reason I do Amazon, is because I've got free time, which I can spend with my kids. I can spend with the wife, family, and go on holidays, do that sort of thing. And I don't have to be tied down to an office. I don't have to be tied down to a warehouse. I don't have to be, sort of stuck behind a computer 24/7. I've got the flexibility to sort of do what I want, I guess when I want, I assume, I guess. So it takes time. Even just 1K a month is a game changer to substitute your job. 100%. 1K a month can make a huge difference, especially these days. It's tough out there. The amount of people you speak to who try to get different jobs. I speak to so many people, and they're always trying to find like another job, or like a second job or some sort of side hustle or something, just because they need help. Just paying for stuff like on a day-to-day, like even just simple like food shop. The cost of food shop has gone crazy over the last few years. It's gone so expensive. And then as soon as you add kids in the mix, it gets crazy expensive. You've got to pay for nursery fees. You got loads of things. So like an extra £1,000 a month is can make an absolute massive difference to some people's lives. Sean's gone. Hopefully, he'll be back in a minute. Is your camera overheating again?
No. Can you hear me?
Yes, mate.
Yeah, it's off for some reason. I had to refresh my page to come back. Something Shins. He left a comment, but now I've refreshed. I can't see it. What was his message?
I don't know. What was it on your TikTok?
YouTube.
It was, I just meant if there's issues with leaks in a few systems and they have come to terms with the VAT payment given to the recipient, but too often the case is the vendor is unable to use a system. I don't know. His comments are frying my head. It's like a word salad every time he comments anything. So I don't know. I feel like he's just hitting a keyboard and whatever comes out, comes out.
What other comments did I miss on YouTube? I think there were a couple.
Flippy Kaye, we were talking about RA. He said found an RA product the other day down from £19 to 35p. Great. So that's amazing. That's why RA is so good. But again, like we said before, there's only so much you can scale that to, right? It's going to get to a point where how many of these 35p products can you buy? Although you're making great profit on each one. It's going to take a lot of time driving around all the stores to buy these, and it's going to be a cap at one point. But if you can do it, 100%. And I think for a lot of beginners, I think RA is one of the best methods, especially if you've got low capital. If you've got low capital, lots of time, then definitely have a look at RA, because you can make a lot of money driving around and picking up cheap things like that, and you're going to stretch your money as much as you can. And I think that's what you want to do at the start, is just focus on ROI and try and get as high as ROI as possible. Especially with low capital, you want to try and spread that capital out as much as possible. So RA is perfect for that.
One of my mates in the Amazon space, he found one of these like golden opportunity retail arbitrage products where the product was being discontinued, and he managed to buy it. Sold like 10,000 times a month, so it was a crazy fast seller. He managed to buy everything from a supermarket, and then realized he could just plot around the UK, call up every supermarket manager and take all of them. And he was like brand new to Amazon, making 26k profit a month. That's not I don't want to misguide anyone. That's not the norm. He just absolutely killed it with this like once in a lifetime opportunity product. Managed to buy all of them, was really intelligent, managed to talk to all the supermarket managers, borrowed as much money as he could possibly find, and he did really, really well. And I know during COVID, that was true for air fryers. Air fryers were an absolute golden goose. Pokemon, if you can find a good Pokemon supplier, Pokemon is a golden goose right now. Almost every new beginner goes for Lego, but I would say Lego isn't that profitable for most new beginners. I don't know if you disagree with that. I know people do really well with Lego, but not in the way people think.
I think Lego is fantastic if you're going to be buying and holding it. I think there was some article read ages ago, whereas something like Lego investments, like if you're buying and holding Lego, you can beat the S&P 500 or something along those lines. I don't know the exact word for word, but I think, if you're buying and holding Lego, you can do really, really well. You need to know which sort of sets to buy and hold, though. There's certain themes and sort of brands which do really, really well. Like obviously with Lego, you've got like Marvel, Harry Potter, Ninjago or something. I don't know what it is. So if you know what you're doing with Lego, you can do really, really well. But again, that's more of a buy and hold strategy. In terms of sort of reselling it as soon as you buy it, then it's just you just falls into the same bracket as any other product, to be honest with you. But yeah, you can definitely make some really good money buying and holding Lego, because all Lego sets retire eventually, and once they retire, then it's essentially end of life stock, and you can't get it anywhere. And if it's a really popular theme of Lego set, then the price will just increase due to the supply drying up. So yeah, Lego can be good. So Elliot said, Seller Amp says Ninja has IP issues. Is this true? So I've never seen, well, I've never been aware of Ninja giving out IPs or kicking anyone off the listing. But what I do know is Ninja, they have sent out quite a few legal letters as of recently. They, as far as I'm aware, they haven't actioned any of those letters. It's not to say they won't, but I think they're definitely tightening up on their supply chain and who's reselling their products. So there is some risk there. Whilst nothing's been done currently, it's not to say that's they won't start doing that. So I guess you want to be a bit mindful with that. Mark also said he'd stay clear of Shark and Ninja. That's his advice.
Yeah, Shark's a similar thing, isn't it? It's very profitable, but they do seem to be enforcing their IP a lot more lately.
Yeah, I sold it. I've sold quite a lot of it in the past, and I've got quite a few letters off them recently, just to say, just tell me to remove all my listings, and a load of sort of legal jargon really. But everything's sold out now, and I haven't actually got anything in stock. But yeah, it'd be interesting to know if they do start actioning that, because I know Shark and Ninja is a big reselling OA sort of brand. So it'd be interesting to see what happened there.
CNL said, "What a golden goose to find." That was regarding the friend I talked about who did 26k profit months. Yeah, absolutely. Sam actually showed me, there was a period during COVID, he showed me on a keeper graph where the air fryers were selling 30,000 times a month. Even Amazon, when they would go in stock, you could see that they were running out of stock within 15 minutes. It was just absolutely absurd. So if you could get air fryers at that time, it was just absolutely wild. CNL also said Ninjago. That's the brand you were trying to think of.
Yeah, that's the one. Ninjago, is that how you say it? Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, or Ninjago.
Ninjago. Yeah, I don't know. Ninjago. So Mark said they have a new authorized third-party seller, which I'm assuming that's you, based on that winky face at the end.
And Laurie, welcome to the live. Thank you for joining. How are you today? Hey. Glenn Lacey, what happens if you just stay on the listings? When brands send legal threatening letters, we kind of just ignore them unless they actually enforce it on Amazon themselves. Like if they send you an IP violation and then you can't sell afterwards, that's obviously more finite. But legal letters are just warnings a lot of the time. Most brands, when they start to enforce their IP on Amazon, they will give you a warning enough in advance. So it's different every time, but they might say, hey, we're in the end of June right now. By September, we're going to be locking this brand down. So it gives resellers enough time. It gives other sellers enough time to sell through the stock. And you can just never know for sure who's going to start doing it. Some brands don't care and they just let the market go crazy. Other brands, it's fine for years and then they decide not to. And obviously it goes without saying, but anytime you're analyzing a listing, you can spot these patterns beforehand. So if there's a brand that issues IP violations or is restrictive of its brand, you can tell that in the keeper chart or Seller Amp SaaS. So just make sure you do your analysis correctly.
Yeah, so Mark said, normally you get 28 days to sell through the stock, which is normally the case. I know in the US, they closed a lot of brands down sort of like last year. I don't know if it was like towards the end of last year or halfway through. They closed loads of brands down and they barely gave anyone any notice at all. But I think for the most part, there's 28 days, enough to clear your stock and get gone. And he said PepsiCo is a real issue right now, which is interesting. I guess I don't really sell anything PepsiCo. I don't really do anything like grocery related.
I would be willing to bet money that you do. Have you ever seen that mind map of everything PepsiCo owns?
No, I haven't actually. Is it a lot?
PepsiCo basically owns everything. Same with like Coca-Cola owns crazy, like things you wouldn't even believe. There's a really interesting image online showing you everything that they own.
I'm just gonna have a little look now. He said Walkers is one of them.
Yeah.
Let's have a look.
Glenn said, would they not accept copies of invoices to show where you purchased from? Yeah, it's different, right? So when brands are trying to more strictly enforce IP, they don't. In those cases, it's not that they're trying to check that the product is authentic. It's that they want to close down who can sell on the listing. Sometimes it's because they want to show what you're selling is authentic. But in those cases, it's seen as a bit of a warning to just be a bit careful, because if you're going to get a legal letter from a brand and then you invest £10,000 on products in that brand, it's obviously very risky in comparison to other brands where you don't get those legal letters, a lot less risk.
Yes, I didn't realize they're in Starbucks. Starbucks, SodaStream, Ruffle,
KFC.
Quaker, Pearl Milling Company. I've heard of that. I think it's more American. Ocean Spray, Mountain Dew, Lipton, Lay's, Fritos, Gatorade, Doritos, Chester's. I heard of Chester's. Cap'n Crunch, Cheetos. Yeah, a lot of it's again, yeah, more grocery style sort of food, really. Which yeah, it's not really something I go near. But yeah, it's good to know. It's one to avoid anyway. But yeah, they do own a hell of a lot, which I'm not entirely surprised at. Oh, bubbly, that's sparkling water. I've heard that before.
Sema, I've just started and my store health is 200. Do I need to be 250 to get ungated in items? No, not at all, mate. Every seller starts at 200. The only way you can get account health assurance is if your account health goes over 250 for 6 months, right? It has to be over 250.
I think so. Yeah, pretty sure that's the case.
Yeah. So to get ungated, you just need valid invoices. And you can get ungated a lot easier by using our automatic ungater, world's first tool of its kind, and it will massively help you with ungating. But major invoices from major retailers, they'll work fine. Or if you're working with authorized distributors, which I very much doubt if you're a brand new seller, but those work too. But yeah, you just need an invoice with the prerequisites that's on the listing. So if the listing says you need to have 100 units to sell, then you need to have an invoice showing 100 units. So that's probably going to be a lot harder to get from a retailer. You're going to have to go to a major wholesaler for that. Some of the invoices will say 10 units. In that case, retailer is going to be fine. Hi, Seller Smart. I'm kind of struggling on sourcing my first products. Can you give me any advice? And is storefront stalking, keeper and seller amp good ways to analyze for a beginner? Yeah, really, really good way to start. Every single person struggles with sourcing in the beginning because you're coming into a skill set that you've never done before. So one of the biggest ways you can get good at Amazon is by having a massive database of knowledge that you've curated over time. And obviously, when you first get started, you're not going to have that knowledge. So you're not going to have good seller IDs with other sellers with fewer than 400 reviews that you can get leads from. You're not going to know which retailers do offers at what time of year. You're not going to know which brands do offers at what time of year. All of that takes time to build. So use a seller amp and storefront stalking to learn what brands people are selling. Try to reverse engineer and find where they're buying it from. Use email newsletter sourcing. That's a really good one. And manufacture your margin by downloading Chrome extensions to get coupons. Use discount cards, which you can use our free discount gift card portal. If you go to our free Discord community, you have to be a member to use it. You can use student discounts, NHS discounts, referral codes. All of these ways are the way you bring the price down of the product to get it cheap enough to sell for a profit. If you're just looking at products and expecting it to be cheap enough, unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. You have to be able to get that price down, and that kind of thing comes with time and practice. Top cashback is really good for Amazon. Yeah, really good, very good indeed.
Yeah, top cashback's great. Mark saying thoughts on bundling and the gurus teaching people to remove logos and list as generic. That sounds like a disaster waiting to happen, surely.
Yeah.
They clamped down massively was it last year or maybe even the year before, they clamped down massively. Amazon just deleted loads of listings for all these bundles which were set up. And I'm pretty sure, I think you know more about this, Sean, but I'm pretty sure with a bundle listing now, you need to have an LOA if you're planning to sell, an LOA from the brand you're planning to sell. Is that right?
Yeah, so bundling, I haven't actually done this myself. I just talk to people that do it. Probably will test it at some point, but bundling used to be that you could bundle anything together, create a listing, and then sell it. As long as you put something of your own trademark on it, that's how people avoided other people going onto the listings. But now you need letters of authorizations from the brands that are involved in the bundle. So what bundling has become is it's become more of a PL thing, private label thing. So if you're going to do a bundle, the way to do it now is either by having letters of authorization or by creating your own brand and creating your own bundling. That's what I've heard from people I know that do it very well.
It makes sense. I think removing logos and listing as generic, but for starters, removing logos, the brand is going to have a massive problem with that, I would have thought. And they're probably going to try and, if they find out about it, they're going to want to clamp down on that ASAP. And generic, I think listing is generic, I think, again, is not great. I've always been told to avoid generic listings, and it's something we've always told people to avoid massively. I think I think there's only a matter of time before Amazon sort of, or I guess they go in waves as well. Amazon, like they've gone through loads of generic listings before and removed and kicked everyone off that. So there's no reason why they wouldn't do it again. So yeah, I would avoid that if anyone's thinking about doing that.
Yeah, for sure. Generic listings in the arbitrage space is something we actually teach everyone in our mentorship to avoid. There's no brand enforcement there. You can just run into so many headaches. And another really good thing to remember is when you're analyzing listings to try and sell them, let's say you're looking at a Samsung product. If the brand under the name on the listing is anything other than Samsung, do not sell it. The brand on the listing has to match the brand that you're selling. Otherwise, it's likely the listing is owned by a third-party seller. And if they issue IP violations towards your account because you're selling on those listings, instead of Amazon saying, okay, this is a Samsung product, it will be Bobby's Bits is the brand owner, and your invoice isn't going to show that, so Amazon won't accept it. It's a really cheeky thing sellers do to be the only one on their listings, but it's really important for you guys to remember that the brand always has to match the brand that you're selling on the listing, and always check and make sure the brand, if it's enrolled in the transparency program. If it is, you can't buy that from major retailers because they won't have transparency codes. You won't be allowed to sell them. All these things, to a lot of you guys out there who don't know this, you don't know what you don't know. These are the kind of things that you either learn by joining our lives, or you learn by working with us, or you just learn by making the mistake, getting bitten by it once, and then hopefully never repeating that mistake again. It's part of the journey. You just have to be willing to make mistakes and learn from them.
Yeah, 100%. And I think what Sean was saying, the brand has to match the listing. You can also have like a parent, one of like the parent company on there as well. So like say PepsiCo, for example, they own so many brands. So if you're selling on like a Walker's listing and the brand name is like PepsiCo, then that should be okay, because although it's not Walker's direct, it's still PepsiCo who own that entire brand anyway. So I think it's so just have a look at that and do some research onto what the brand is. What you want to avoid is just these random brands which make no sense. And you can do that if you can see the brand isn't matching what the product you're selling is. A lot of the time, like at least probably like 7-8 times out of 10, if you have a look at the brand name and if you go on Keeper and then go to the first day the listing was set up, I can guarantee you the name of the brand is going to be the name of the seller who is the first ever seller on the listing, and they've just set it up under their own sort of seller name and then just sold it as that. And then that is something you want to avoid. Yeah, definitely. Mark was saying, guys, thank you, mate. Appreciate it.
Mark, which Mark is this? Is this a Mark we know?
Mark Penn. So I don't know if you know.
Okay. Yeah.
I can talk to you about him afterwards. I don't know how much you'd want me to say on here. If this is the guy, I think it is. I think it is. But I'll have a conversation with you afterwards anyway, because he asked a question about you, and we can have a little chat.
Okay, sounds good. Seven said, "Thank you for the advice. I needed that. I'll trust the process, 100%. No problem at all. Thank you for joining the live as well. Really glad to see that you're actually trying. Most people sit on the fence with it for a long time, but never actually give it a go. I was saying to Gia, I think I was saying to you on our call, maybe it was someone else. 68% of the accounts that are made to sell on Amazon in the UK never make a sale. And of the ones that do make a sale, the vast majority of those never make it to one review. So, like, genuinely, it seems like there's loads of competition, but it's not nearly as bad as people think. As long as you're willing to be consistent and keep reinvesting back into it, you can do really, really well. Vertful, Jamesy boy, welcome. Hello, beautiful. Stay away from Bobby's bits. I'm wondering if anyone got the reference I was saying there. Probably not. It's a bit obscure.
Hey James, mate, how you doing? So James Allen, is saying caveat is that some transparency uses serial numbers, so can work from. Some brands use serial numbers like Samsung and Logitech. I think there's a few other brands which you can use serial numbers. So if the product comes and it doesn't have transparency codes on there, try the serial numbers, and then they might work depending on what the brand is. So that can help.
All right, I'm gonna drop you guys a tiny little bit of sauce just so I can smidgen it in here, and hopefully you get some value from it, so you decide to come and work with us. But you can use AI to help you with transparency codes. If you think you know the sequence well enough, AI can be very good at helping you find the correct ones if they're not working. So nice little tip for anyone out there who's run into that problem before.
James PH said, lots of Jameses on there. Can just check if the trademark is on the company's house. If not, you can sell on the listing. Just check if the trademark is on company's house. If not, you can sell on that ASIN.
I probably wouldn't follow that myself.
No, I wouldn't either. Not entirely sure what you're relating to that. I don't think so.
Well, okay, I'm just assuming, but if, let's say, they found a private label brand, but the private label brand hasn't registered their trademark yet, they're saying they would just jump on it. But that, I don't know about that. I wouldn't do that personally.
No, because I don't know. It's a bit dodgy, right? I guess if they haven't trademarked the brand, then I suppose they don't have brand registry, so they can't kick you off the listing. But I feel like there must be a way if they create the listing. I don't know the ins and outs of that, but that's not like a rule I would follow though.
James just said that you're just playing with fire at that point, in my opinion. Completely agree. Yeah, everything we teach is for the long term. It's for the longevity. We want to do things that are going to work in 2 years' time. So fast cash can be really fun and exciting, but if it's not going to last, and there's a lot of risk that the stock you buy is going to get kicked off because it's not allowed, it's not the game I want to play, to be honest.
No, he's added to that. Sorry, Elliot, quickly. Cocoon Center isn't a void, right? No, Cocoon Center is good, mate. They're good. They're based in France. Pretty sure they're based in France. But they're good. They're fine. They have a GB VAT number as well, so that's handy. And you don't have to pay any import duties. I guess that's something they cover themselves. So you can order more than £135 worth of products, and you won't get hit with any additional costs. That's how I was used to be anyway. So yeah, Cocoon Center are good. The invoice is pretty solid, so I like them. So going back to James and the brand registry thing, he said when it has a different brand name on like Nivea, when it has a different brand name like on Nivea, let's say, how can they issue you an IP if they don't have brand registry? Have you heard of PL takeover? I haven't heard of PL takeover. I know.
Yes, you have. We talked about it in another one. It's the thing where people jump onto PL listing.
Yeah. Okay, I got you. Okay, so that's I guess my comment, right? Like if it's not a trademarked and they don't have brand registry, because they can't have brand registry, right, unless it's trademarked, as far as I'm aware, then I'm wondering what sort of rights they have to kick you off the listing. Maybe they don't have any rights then. I'm not too sure. I've only ever set up one listing myself, so I've never had to deal with that, and I'm not sure what I've never had to try and kick anyone off the listing or anything, so I'm not really sure what rights you'd have if you don't have brand registry. whether you have price at all. I don't know.
Can you imagine going through the process of setting up your branding, building a PL, being really excited to build a brand, and then some cheeky sod comes and takes over your listing because you haven't had the money to pay for trademarking? It's so cheeky.
Sure, well, it is, but then it's the error on the person who did it. Like, surely, like when I set up my private label product, I would. The first thing I did was sort out the brand registry, sort out the trademark.
Yeah, I agree. I just still think it's cheeky, but if you're going to launch a listing, this is one of the things that. Right? Sorry, say again.
You say if you're going to launch a listing, do it properly, right?
100%. Yeah, it's one of the costs of PL, though, isn't it? That a lot of people don't talk about. They're like, yeah, you can do it for £1,000. Like, can you?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember how much brand registry was, but pretty sure it was probably between 400 and 600 quid. I would have thought.
Yeah, I thought it was around 350, 400.
Yeah, I think so. It's definitely around that. And then he said, "So sorry, Elliot. Does invoices get approved from Cocoon Center? Yes, mate, they do. They're good. James, sorry. Let's say a product listing sells Nivea, but brand name is James Product. If you check the trademark isn't registered, you can then sell on those listings. You can sell on them, but I don't think you should, because the problem with this is not so much getting kicked off the listing. It's more so the invoicing side of things, because the brand is James's products, right? And if you get hit with an IP or inauthentic claim, or you've, I don't know, got missing stock or something like that, then you submit an invoice. Let's say you bought the products from, I don't know, Cocoon Center, like we're just talking about, right? And on Cocoon Center, it's going to say Nivea face cream 15 mil. You try and submit that to Amazon, they're going to be like, well, no, like this isn't a Nivea listing. This is a James's product listing. James's product is the brand. The invoice doesn't have James's product anywhere on it, so they're probably not going to accept it, unless you're speaking like you know what you're talking about. So you might have experience. I don't know. But as far as I'm concerned, I couldn't imagine Amazon really accepting that. And I think you're playing with fire there. Like, you might get some quick wins, but in the long run, I can't see it. He said, but you can't get hit with a brand registry IP. So you can only get hit with Amazon IP, and you provide a product invoice. Yeah, you can't get hit with brand registry, but you can get hit with an Amazon IP, right? And it's trying to clear that with the invoice, because the invoice isn't going to match the brand. And likewise, if you get a section 3, then is the invoice going to work for that when you're selling a product with the wrong brand, and invoice is going to have a different brand on it? I think, I think, again, this is more quick wins as opposed to long-term strategy and playing it safe, to be honest.
Yeah, James said chances are they will get brand registry in the future, but then if it's a PL product, it's going to be hard for someone else to jump on and sell the same products as you. Yeah, for sure.
I think the PL side of things is more like having branded products, like, I don't know, Nivea.
Yeah, he sent that message way before the updates.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, but then Recova says, how much is that in profit on your sales? So I work to roughly 10% margins. That's net margin. So after all expenses, everything like that, it works out to about 10%. I'm looking to sort of decrease my revenue and increase my margins, which is why you can see my revenue slowly going down a little bit. But the margins are increasing, and I'm trying to get to, like 12% margins net. So yeah, that's what it currently is.
Yeah, and we always have to clarify this, because a lot of people don't quite fully understand the difference between net and gross. So 10% net is a very good profit margin for a business to have. That's after business expenses, electric company car, if you want to buy that, paying for our mentorship, that's a tax deductible business expense, paying yourself a salary or dividends, those are tax deductible expenses. So 10%.
Just salary. Huh? Dividends.
Not dividends.
Yeah, dividends is after.
Oh, of course. Yeah. But yeah, sorry, go on.
I just said just salary.
Yeah. We're interrupting each other a lot on this call. I think there's a slight delay.
I think there is. So James said, someone who's actually being honest about margin. Yeah, like 100%. I think there's no point lying, and there's no point lying about it. Like I've been selling on Amazon for long enough. I know exactly what sort of margins to expect and what's a good margin, what's a bad margin. You see people saying, "Oh, I do 20% margins and all this sort of stuff," and it's like, well, yeah, do you really? Maybe gross, but yeah, a lot of people really don't, and a lot of people on Amazon don't even know their numbers at all. You'll be very surprised at the amount of people who have no idea how much the money they're actually making, and then at the end of the year they get their annual tax report from the accountant, and they realize they're making absolutely nothing, and it's super slim. So yeah, know your numbers, guys. It makes a big difference.
Yeah, like genuinely, I don't just say this flippantly. 99% of people we talk to have no idea what their numbers actually are. They don't pay attention to returns. They don't pay attention to removal orders. They don't pay attention to chasing like reimbursements and things like that. So when you don't know your numbers, it's really cool to see the gross figures. But having a good system so everything is tracked correctly gives you a much better snapshot of your sales throughout the month. And then when you do your monthly P&L, that's going to elucidate what your actual margins are. So just backing what Sam said, it's so important to know your numbers.
Yeah, 100%. And Elliot said, just found a great product with great ROI, but the lead is from Italian Amazon. Is it easy to buy from? So that's like EU A2A. You can, but there's things you need to consider when you're buying from other marketplaces. The main one being the plug. Is it an electrical item? Is it going to come with a 2-pin plug? Then you need to obviously be aware of that. Is the customer going to expect a 2-pin plug or a 3-pin plug? And as you're selling in the UK, most likely a 3-pin plug. And then also, is it a product which is going to have Italian packaging, or is it going to have? So I guess an example, I bought a kid's toy from Germany, and it was like a talking toy. I assumed it was going to sort of be, you could be able to change the language, or it was going to be English, but I ended up buying a few, sold them, and then had a load of customer returns because this toy was speaking in German, and obviously English kids could understand it. So stuff like that, you need to take that in consideration. You need to understand if that's the case. If it's like a beauty product or something like that, then for the most part, it should be fine, really.
Yeah, we have a speciality in our team with EU A to A, European Amazon to Amazon. So I would say a huge majority of my revenue has been purchasing from Amazon Germany, Amazon Italy, Spain. And it can be really, really good, but there is a process to it. We have multiple lectures in our mentorship exclusively about Amazon to Amazon EU. And it's really, really good. We at our prep center, we offer services for EU A to A sellers as well. So definitely have a chat with us if you want to talk about that. But as Sam said, if you can find products that are like micro USB, so Garmin watches or whatever, stuff that charges with a universal cable, they can be okay, because more often than not, every language is on the packaging and you can just change the language in the settings. But again, you have to be very careful with what you buy, very careful, especially with, like France might have different laws and compliance around ingredients in products than the UK. So in that case, you've got to be very careful.
Yeah, for sure. And that goes supplements in America as well. Like, be super careful with them. A lot of people buy from websites like iHerb, but you should avoid all supplements from any American store. The list of ingredients which they use in America, there's going to be a lot of them which are going to be banned in the UK. And if you're buying from places like iHerb for some tablets or powder or whatever it is, there could be a chance that the ingredients in that product is actually banned in the UK and the EU. So you need to be super, super careful. If you're buying from like most EU places, and it's fine because we sort of all have abide by the same laws and stuff like that when it comes to ingredients and stuff. So it's mostly okay. Mark Penn said you should consider employers' pension contributions. 100%. I think definitely if anyone's got loads of cash in the business and they don't have to sort of pay themselves a huge amount, then employer pension contributions are huge. and yeah, that makes a big difference. I think is it capped? I can't remember what it's capped at. It's capped at something, isn't it? I can't remember off the top of my head what it is. James, do be able to do 7 figures and 8 figures at 20% is cap. Yeah, 100%. I think, yeah, like 20% net margin if you're doing 7 and 8 figures, I think it's very unlikely. And I think if you're doing that, you're going to be doing something dodgy and something which isn't legit, I would have thought. I think it's going to be very hard to be able to do those numbers at those margins. I just can't really see it happening on the Amazon platform, to be honest with you. Mark said, I make 5% net on Amazon. That doesn't surprise me. But again, at the level you're at, like, that's going to be absolutely fantastic anyway. But I think, I know people would probably look at that and then turn their nose up at it and say, oh, it's not worth it. And then I guess the people who have no idea what they're really talking about, and people who, as we said, don't really know their numbers. I said this to someone I said to someone before this morning on a mentorship call I had. There's a guy who was a guy who I know who was quite active on socials and Discords and stuff like that. He was doing like 2 million a year in revenue, and then he spoke to his accountant as he got his end of year returns, and he sent me a message and said, "Oh, I've got my end of year returns from my accountant, and it's actually told me I've made a loss." And then he's been posting every month these SDK screenshots of making 10 grand here, 15 grand there, and all this. And then I asked him a few questions. We had a bit of a chat and sort of went through it all. And then afterwards, I thought, you know what? Yeah, it sounds pretty accurate, to be honest with you. Someone who you'd think with all the posting and the screenshots and everything they're doing, they're making loads and loads of money. When in reality, they actually lost money that year because there was so much stuff they weren't accounting for. And again, it's all these people who say they do 7 figures and they're making 20% net. Like it's absolute rubbish. I know so many sellers. The amount of leakage in your Amazon business is crazy. And if you're not on top of that, that can wipe out huge chunks of profit. And it's just mental. Do not believe everything you see online. All these flashy SDK screenshots is absolute nonsense. Do not believe what you see, because a lot of the time it's going to be so far from the truth. I get messages all the time from people, even like obviously smaller sellers just message me saying, "Oh, like I thought I was going to make 50 grand this year, but SDK told me I'd made 50 grand, but my accountant's telling me I made 5, and all this sort of stuff." You should not be trusting SDK with your profits. Like, I use it, but I use it mainly for inventory management, and it's good on like an order by order basis in terms of profit. But as an overall, like your monthly profit, yearly profit, you shouldn't be using it. It's far too inaccurate. The only way to do it is by doing your running P&L reports as regularly as possible. I get a P&L report every single month, and it tells me exactly what I've done for the previous month. And I've said it so many times. I tell people this all the time. You need to get monthly P&L reports, and 9 times out of 10 it falls on deaf ears, and people don't listen to me until it's too late. So I'm going to say it again, and it's probably going to fall on a lot of deaf ears. But you need to get P&L reports. It's the only way you're really going to know how much money you're making in your business. Without that, you're blind, to be honest with you. So yeah, make sure you get P&L reports. You've got a decent relationship with your accountant. You've got a solid relationship with your bookkeeper, and you're staying on top of all of this, because it can make or break most businesses.
I just got a call on my work phone, which I didn't realize was connected to the Bluetooth of my headphones. So the call came through on my headphones, which triggered YouTube to autoplay music in the background. So if you hear that,
we didn't hear anything. I saw you looking away and quiet, but yeah, I didn't hear anything.
I was trying to find the tab. I was like, where's that coming from? Vertful, is a P&L report something that I can build via Claude, or something I need an accountant to do? Oh, the guys heard the music in the background. I heard the music. I'm glad it wasn't anything dodgy then. Is P&L report something I can build via Claude? Yeah, you can build a P&L in Claude if you want to. The thing is, I was literally word for word what I was about to say. a P&L is really, really important from not only from a sound of mind perspective, but from a taxation legalities perspective. So you really should be working with an accountant, get a P&L from them. Smartly, you don't have to pay for any softwares, but in most accountants, you have to pay for Xero, Link My Books, Dext, and things like that. But yeah, P&L really, really important. And getting an accountant is one of those expenses that hurts, but it's worth it because they'll save you money.
Yeah, P&L report, you just get that from Xero, QuickBooks, any accounting software. Is it Free Agent? I think it's another one. Or if like Smartly, for example, they've got their own accounting software they use. You don't need to create your own in Claude or anything like that. All this information, as long as everything is, all the bookkeeping is up to date and done correctly, then you can download P&L reports from any accounting software. It's already made for you.
James said, I use Smartly. I forgot about that. Yeah, so have a chat with Harvey about getting a monthly P&L. You're going to have to give him, you're going to have to give the company Smartly, you're going to have to give them financial reports more regularly, but it's worth it. And just as a rule of thumb for everyone watching this, go through your expenses on your credit cards or your debit cards, go through them every month, because I guarantee you will eventually find stuff that you're paying for that you forgot about. So really, really important. And chase up refunds as well. If you've been paying for a software you haven't been using, try to chase a refund.
Yeah, honestly, when I first started running P&L reports, like the amount of subscriptions I cancelled because they just got lost in bank transactions. You forgot you had them. I went through so many, and that's why P&L reports are so good. You can look at them. It breaks down every single category of transaction, whether it's I don't know, an expense, a subscription, staffing costs, whatever it is. You can go in there, go into your subscriptions, and you can see every single subscription payment you've made that month. And there's probably stuff in there you've seen and think, fucking, I cannot even remember the last time I used that tool, or I completely forgot I had that subscription. And it saves you so much. It makes a huge difference.
Glenn said the music thing happened earlier as well. Apologies. I have cyberpunk techno in the background to do focused work to, so that's probably what you heard.
Recover says, do you think you can earn high profit six figures in a year? So I guess when you're talking about high profit six figures, are you talking about like 700,000, 800,000, 900,000? Because I assume that's high profit six figures, I suppose, isn't it? I guess depends on your business model, right? I suppose. I guess based on what the conversation we've just had, right? Looking at my screenshot, I do like 1.8 million a year, and you're doing sort of roughly 10% net margins. Even if you're doing 5% margins, you're making, you're just under. But yeah, you're making close to sort of six figures, even at sort of 5% margins. So to make if you're talking about high six figures, like close to £1 million worth, then yeah, you need to be making some serious revenue, and your margins aren't going to be like 10%. They're going to be more like 5%. You can do it. You can definitely do it, whether it's you do it through wholesale, sort of brand direct, that sort of thing, or private label. But if you want just sort of six figures, like 100,000, 200,000, then yeah, it's definitely possible. How long it's going to take you to get there? There's so many different factors. You can't really answer that. Like you've got how much capital you start with, how much time you've got to spend, what's your sort of skill set. There's a million one answers to that, to be honest.
Glenn said, I've used Claude to build a P&L, but that's just an overview. Yeah, that's totally fair. I would say, though, if you're going to have one for an overview, you may as well have a proper P&L with your accountant as well, just to make sure nothing's missed. But to each their own.
Yeah, so I've got a load of questions backing up here. So
if you can hear that, that's Discord this time. Sorry.
James has said, also, to be able to scale your margin goes up and down if you want to scale to 8 figures. It's also to be able to scale your margin goes up and down if you want to scale to 8 figures. I guess I'll sort of try and answer that. It's same as any business, right? The more you scale your business, the margin will generally take a hit. And I think that's got to be the same with almost any business you do, right? Because 100%. The more you scale it, the more things you need to put in place, the more staff you need, the more I don't know, software you need. You might need bigger facilities. You might need, there's loads of different things you're going to have to pay for in order to scale and grow that business. So naturally the margin is going to come down, but with that, the revenue should also increase quite a lot, which would then, although the margin's going down, you should essentially be making more money just on a lower margin. But yeah, you have to scale your infrastructure. That makes your overall margin drop some time. Yeah, exactly. Pretty much. Yeah, exactly that. Lily said, I appreciate how transparent you guys are. And then Mark said, probably the most transparent guys on here. Thank you. Yeah, much appreciated. This is what we try to be. We do not just, well, I say we do not just talk rubbish, we probably do, but we don't lie and just feed you a load of useless information and sell you a dream and make it sound like it's something it's not. We make it real. We give you actual real results, tell you the actual ins and outs of it, and don't just sell the dream and tell you a load of nonsense. To be honest with you, I don't think there's any benefit in that at all.
No, one of the things I respect most in people is transparency. So just because I respect it so much, I've always tried to emulate that myself. And, let's say we misguided you into getting into something you weren't ready for, we would lose our credibility, right? So the reputation we've built is really hard to build, really easy to lose. We take that really seriously. So we want to be fully transparent, be honest with you, get you ready to come into what you're coming into. I could sit here and I could tell you it's all sunshine and rainbows and everything's perfect, but we don't want to misguide anyone. We want you to know that this is a lot of work. It is challenging, but it's damn fun. It's really, really enjoyable, and you can make really good money doing it if you're consistent and persistent, if you can get through all of the headaches that come with it. And that's where our community can be so good, because Amazon, sometimes they seem like they're trying to make it as hard as possible. But yeah, as I say, that's where our community members help people, because it's very challenging to get direct answers from Amazon. And depending on who you talk to, you're going to get a different response every time.
Yeah, definitely. So Elliot said, when would you recommend getting an accountant? Only registered my business last month. Straight away, mate, because whether you get an accountant now or you get an accountant when you have to file your year end, you have to pay the same price. So you either get an accountant now and then just pay monthly and split the payments across. And while you're doing that, you can actually utilize the accountant. You can ask them questions. You can get them to help you with things. They can get them to do P&L reports, that sort of thing. Or you work the whole year with no accountant. And then when you need to get your year end done, you then have to find an accountant and then just pay them what you're going to pay anyway, but in a lump sum. And then that way you can't even utilize them throughout the year because you don't have one. So get one as soon as possible. The cost is the same. It's just split up over into monthly payments, and then just utilize them. Like, ask them as many questions as possible. So yeah, straight away is my answer to that.
Yeah, I think that catches a lot of people off guard. A lot of people think, I'm not going to pay for an accountant. I'll just pay them when I need them. But you actually have to pay them for the entire period they're working on. So instead of paying them like $2,000 in one lump sum where you don't get any of their help, it's so much more valuable to get them early. And I'm telling you from experience, a bad accountant will cost you a lot of money. A good accountant will save you thousands. And when I say a good accountant in this context, I mean someone who understands e-commerce, understands Amazon. A standard high street accountant does not understand how complex Amazon is. And we know that for a fact because one of the students in our mentorship is an accountant. And she said when she had to learn Amazon, she said it was an absolute dumpster fire of a nightmare. So I've worked with 2 high street accountants who don't get Amazon. It didn't go very well at all. I lost a lot of money. Now we work with Smartly, who have a speciality in Amazon, eBay, and e-commerce. And I've saved a lot of money working with them.
And I think with the sorry, where am I looking at?
G Finds, welcome to the live as well. Thank you for joining, Gary. How are you, mate?
With the accountants, what was I going to say? I can't remember. I was going to say something. I don't know what I was going to say now. I've got a few questions there, though. I just need to.
I hate that. I hate that when you've got something that you know you need to say, but your mind just does a brain fart.
Yeah, something about accountants. I can't remember what now though. So I'm just taking a photo of something quickly. So Mark Penn again, 5% net volume is good. I know sellers making 100 million plus at best make 5%, but on 1 million you should make 10% potentially. Yeah, 100%. Like, yeah, agreed. I think 5% at that sort of scale is, yeah, great. Really good. Like, what'd you say? Oh, like if you look at,
sorry, I was doing the math. So 5% of 100 million is 5 million net.
yeah, like brilliant. No one's going to turn their nose up at that. And I think, like, if you look at, obviously we're stretching it a little bit now, but look at companies like Tesco's and stuff like that. Like, you think they're making like 10% margin? Like, no chance. That their margins are going to be sub 5%, and I'm pretty sure they're in like the 2% mark, if not around that anyway. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I read the margins are super slim. So I think 5% at 100 million, yeah, it's great. And you'll have people on here telling you, yeah, they should be making 10%, 20%, and it's a load of nonsense.
I think the supermarket thing, I think that is true, but I think because of inflation, the profits they've been making have been going up quite a lot because they're just squeezing. Now they're just, the price hike isn't actually to do with inflation. It's because a lot of them have realized they just can.
Yeah, any excuse to make more money and push it on anyone else. And he said, yeah, but on 1 million you should make 10% potentially. Yeah, I think you're right. I think 10% is good at doing it at this level. Yeah, for sure. James said, sorry boys, very dyslexic. It's right, mate, we got there in the end. I deal with Sean every day, so I'm used to it.
I always thought I was quite eloquent.
I
don't have dyslexia. I definitely have ADHD brain, and Reese has told me that enough times.
Has he? I've just been too polite then. Rickover, have you tried drop shipping? No, I haven't. Sean has.
Yeah.
I guess you can talk about your experience with that.
Yeah, so I was raised by a very sweet, innocent woman, and I have a very lovely, lovely dad. I'm very lucky, right? My parents are lovely. The reason I say that is I was raised in a household where morals were driven in, and when I got into the drop shipping game, my partner and I, we both did it together. What the mentorship we signed up to, what they were teaching you to do was so unethical. And I'm not talking about jumping on someone's PL listing. I'm talking about creating AI images of little old ladies having their legs completely healed by this magical wiping cream that you're trying to hock to them. And unfortunately, my gullible, lovely mother is the exact target avatar for these people. Every time I go to her house, she's bought something new from Facebook Marketplace, not realizing she's bought it from an 18-year-old from Belgium who's just scamming. And yeah, the model is really grifty. Most people I knew in it were losing money. One person who was doing really well, he actually had a successful social media marketing agency beforehand, which is why he did well. We lost a lot of money doing drop shipping. And the reason for that is we were losing ungodly amounts of money running meta ads that weren't working. We then found out the ads weren't working because the meta accounts were not working. So it wasn't to do with our ads. And then by the time we had a winning product, the supplier that we used from the supplier that we were told to use sent broken products, and we had to pay for the returns from, Belgium, Sweden, wherever it was, back to China. And we got negative Trustpilot reviews, lost loads of money. And we just decided, I really wanted it to work because Amazon worked so well. I was like, okay, I have to touch of gold. Drop shipping must be amazing because you don't have to spend any money. And it just didn't work. You have to spend so much more money than you think. Amazon is way safer. But you shouldn't really do drop shipping on Amazon. I've never met anyone who does that successfully.
Yeah, neither have I. They see a lot of the only people who tell me they do it successfully are the people who got palm trees behind them and sat on a Ferrari or Lamborghini bonnet. Apart from that, I don't think I've heard it from anyone else.
Yeah. G Finds, you said ADHD is a superpower. I got tested in school, right? I got tested in school for ADD, which I know they used to differentiate the two back then, ADD and ADHD. And ironically, when they gave me the results, I wasn't paying attention to what they said. And I remember my dad talking about me either being on that like spectrum for it. If I do have ADHD, which I'm not going to self-diagnose, I've been told by a lot of people I do, to me, it has only ever been a superpower. I cannot focus on something that I find boring, but when I love what I do, literally all I think about is the job. So like for Seller Smart, for Amazon, for building our business, I do not ever procrastinate. I love the work I do and I hyper focus. The day flies away because I'm in what's the deep focus thing called?
Not sure. Hyper focused.
There's a word for it, guys. Tell me in the comments what. The flow state. I get in the flow state really easily with something I'm passionate about. So if I do have it, I find it a blessing because I can outwork 99% of people. And literally almost every single entrepreneur I have, every single entrepreneur I've ever met has some sort of spicy ADHD brain of some sort. It just seems to, entrepreneurialism seems to attract people of that type. And if you look at the data, some of the most successful people in the world in business have ADHD or dyslexia. Richard Branson's got really bad dyslexia. He's been incredibly successful.
Yeah, for sure. Elliot said, how would you go around finding an accountant who knows Amazon? People say go with one local. I know I've got a good accountant. Sean's got a good accountant. I'm happy to recommend the one I use. Sean can recommend the one they use. So Sean uses Smartly with a Z. I use one called Findlay Todd. Both of them are good. Feel free to send one of us a message and we can advise you on which accountant to use. Both of them have got e-com experience. Both of them work with lots of Amazon sellers. Both of them we'd recommend. So yeah, there's two there. But yeah, feel free to drop us a message. And then
I'm glad that new one's been good for you because I know the last guy royally screwed you over.
The last guy was an absolute joke. I don't even know how he's gotten his accounting license or accreditation or whatever it's called. He was shambolic.
G-Fine says exactly that. Wee Laurie says, my husband says the same, Sean, whereas I was riddled with anxiety, which meds have helped a lot. Yeah, unfortunately, this is another thing with people with ADHD. You have a higher propensity to anxiety. You guys can probably see. You can probably see me doing this. You should see my leg under the desk. My leg darts like crazy. So I've had really bad issues with anxiety in the past. I had a panic attack disorder in my 20s. Don't have that problem anymore. But what I've learned is I needed an outlet for all of that excess energy. I'm a very hyperactive guy. So I just train really hard in the gym. I go, well, not as often as I'd like, but I walk as much as possible. So if you're in a similar boat and you have that like hyperactive energy, kind of struggle to focus zone, cardio is really good. Weightlifting is really good. Just being active. If you don't like the gym, that's okay. But I do think we live in a day and age where we're more still than we should be. We as humans are not designed to sit in a desk all day. So yeah, give it a try if you're someone who experiences that.
Right, I've got one more question and I do need to shoot. Unfortunately, I've got a business to run, which I can't sit on here all day. But Peter Darson said, what if you had restricted capital? How would you compound faster? Loans, credit? Yeah, very good question, to be honest with you. I guess if you've got restricted capital, you want to focus on sourcing methods which are going to stretch that out as much as possible. And depending how much time you have, then you want to sort of focus on RA, because RA you're going to get huge ROI, and that is where you're going to get the best return for your money, is by doing RA. And again, loans and credit, like although they are very good and they can be very good, you need to be so careful with them. Like I never tell people to get a loan or credit out straight away. I think your business needs to be in a very consistent position in order to then add that extra layer of risk. You need to have consistent sales, consistent disbursements, and you need to really understand your business and how much you get paid every single month through your business in order to then manage adding credit and sort of loans onto it. So you need to be very careful. A lot of people come to me when they first start and they want to get a loan out straight away. I always sort of tell them, I don't really think you should. I think you need to give it more time, and I think you need to get your business in a better, more stable position before you go down that route. So I think at first it's sorting out your sourcing methods, just try and stretch that out for as much as possible. Go for high selling products. Don't just buy anything and everything. Be very picky and particular with what you are purchasing. And then once your business is a bit more consistent and stable, then you can look at loans. And like James has said, government startup loan, again, yeah, government startup loan can be good. But again, you need to be so careful with loans and credit. There's a lot of risk there, and a lot of people, what they don't know is a lot of loans, like credit, like with Amex, for example. If you're using Amex, then that's that credit, it does go on to you personally. So even if your business goes under and you've got a limited company and that goes under, Amex will still come for you. So you need to understand that the risk is there, and it's the same with a lot of loan and credit companies as well. Sometimes it is a personal credit. So yeah, be super careful. I know Sean had something to say there.
Yeah, sorry, I was just going to say, like a really important thing to remember with loans and with debt is we have scientific evidence showing that people are way more risk-taking with money that they've borrowed versus money that they've earned. So if you're coming into a brand new business model where you don't know the strategy, you've just borrowed 25K and you're all excited, it's much more likely that you're going to make a lot more risky purchase decisions versus someone who has earned 25K, like done the hard work to get it. So figure out the strategy first and then consider scaling with debt if you want to. Obviously, you guys are adults, so you can make your own decisions. But we do really heavily suggest learning the strategy first.
So Mark said, can you get a 9-figure seller on for some mindset? If I knew a 9-figure seller and I was speaking to a 9-figure seller, then I 100% would, but I don't know personally any 9-figure sellers.
I'll have a think about that. I'm wondering if I do know any. I don't think I do.
James said Penguin Wholesale. I'm kind of like confused, but I'm kind of not confused with. I'm going to speak to Sean afterwards. Yeah, I don't know. I'm confused with Mark. If he's the guy who I think he is, then brilliant. If he's not, but he's sort of posing to be that guy, then yeah, that's what I'm confused at. But I think it's the guy, and it's the comment made me laugh there. But
I'm
interested.
Yeah,
I need to shoot because I've got lots of answers.
Yeah, give me one sec. We got two more. So Neurospicy is so similar to me, Sean. I figured that when we spoke. How much does it cost for an accountant? So every accountant is differently. It's just like a prep center, just like anything. If you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. It's better to get a good one. So you can go to Smartly's. I'll type it in. You can go to their website and see their pricing. And if you drop Sam a message and want to check out the other one, you can get pricing from there. Depends on if you're VAT registered or not. It's a monthly sub. I think it's like £99 plus VAT. And then if you're VAT registered, it's a bit more. But I can tell you, like for a fact, I've saved a lot of money working with Harvey. Right, guys, really nice live. I feel the need to apologize. I've had a toothache the entire time, so if I've seemed a bit more serious than usual, that would be why. I hope you have a lovely day. We have a free Discord community that you can get to, link in the bio. Jump in a call with us if you want to join our mentorship group or one-to-one. We've got a software that you can use in our mentorship, or you can sign up to the waitlist. We've got a prep center, virtual assistant recruitment, and account recovery guy, and our amazing auto ungated tool. Have a lovely day. And Sam, it was really good to see you.
Yes, mate. Good to see you. Thanks a lot. And I will speak to you everyone soon.
Cool. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.
See you.